Okay, my mic's working. Let me give you a mic check here in a second. All right, mic check.
Test, test.
All right, we're good. Perfect. I had to update my computer, so my OBS wasn't working perfectly fine, but now we're good. We can hear us. All right, guys. Hello and welcome in to another episode of the Full Send Half Mast Podcast, episode 120 or 134. Excuse me. Tonight we're going to talk about the ARCA Xfinity Cup Series at Iowa, IMSA this weekend at Road America, and then Formula One at Hungary. We'll talk about all those races with you guys here tonight. Also, our nominations for Driver of the Week, Bonehead of the Week. We'll go over some of the point standings as we get closer to the NASCAR playoffs. We're 3 races away from the playoffs. The Formula One Drivers' Championship is tightening up again between the top 2 at McLaren. And then as well as the IMSA Drivers' Championship, which looks like, 2 months ago we thought it was out of play, Tom, and then me and you did the math this weekend, and there might be an outside shot at BMW being able to spoil the Porsche party. And then to end this podcast, we'll talk about this weekend's races with the ARCA Xfinity Truck and Cup at Watkins Glen, as well as the Indy and Indy NXT weekend at Portland. Give you all of our picks, our dark horses, and all of the notable entries on this weekend's entry lists. And also our NASCAR fantasy lineup, which I didn't do, Tom. So we're just going to have to wing that when we get to that segment. So, yeah, we'll get there. But first off, Tom, I was a flight back to Georgia.
Uh, I'll look. I was actually thinking about it, and you know, the flight from Atlanta to Boise is really not that bad,
No.
like at all. And I felt like, well, getting to Boise was a little difficult just because of the storms that were coming through. But on the way back, man, it was so easy. It was so easy. And uh, I watched a couple movies, and then I was in Atlanta, and it was like, yeah, it was just super easy.
Yeah, Delta's
So
nice, man. When you get the where you can watch movies right there and you're at your seat, man.
yeah,
Delta's like I feel like the best airline. I don't think there's even a comparison.
I
I feel like
I
it's
don't
so
think
good.
so either.
Yeah.
It's they're like, I feel like compared to like United, I feel like I'm going back to the 80s.
Yeah.
Alaskan Airlines is kind of like just like
It's kind of like American Airlines.
rebranded
Yeah.
rebranded Spirit,
Yeah.
and then you got Spirit and Frontier, which is just like, I'll
Might as well
pay
take
the
a
extra money
Greyhound.
not to fly on those. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, Delta is definitely like the best airline, normal airline in America right now for sure.
Oh yeah. I agree.
So
I agree.
wasn't bad.
That was a
It
fun
was fun,
weekend. Ran,
man.
ran pretty good there on Friday for sure. We had fun. I had fun.
You
I had a
know,
blast.
I was really hoping because I've been getting this itch to go back racing a little bit, and I was really hoping that this would scratch that itch. But no, it made it way worse.
Yeah, now you're back
Way,
in it, dude.
yeah.
I know,
Now
dude.
I just want to do it.
That's how I felt when we ran the mini mod a few years ago, and I've just been freaking itching to get back racing. And now here we are, we're back in it full bore again. So,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun. Yeah. And what did we spend? Like what, 12 hours in my garage on Sunday? We were
Yeah.
just tweaking on the setup, trying to get it right because the race didn't play out
We
how we
didn't
wanted it to.
look. We didn't just tweak. We completely stripped it and started over. That's what we did.
Yeah. Also, I'm excited to see what we could do with this new setup. I'm feeling confident about it, and I mean the 208 didn't go exactly how we planned. We had a lot of unforeseen issues, overheating issues, setup issues, dragging the ground issues that shouldn't have been an issue at all. The attitude of the car. I was looking at some pictures, Tom, earlier. I was gonna send them to you. That they posted on their in the Meridian Speedway page, and our car just sat different than every other car, and it just there's so much geometry wrong with that car, and but you know what? It was our first time racing as a crew, as a team. We worked hard. I mean, shout out to Donovan, Jared, my dad, and Tom. I mean, we worked hard. We gave it our best effort. Just didn't play out in our favor. But it was a fun weekend overall. I had a blast. It felt like a Talladega 2.0, just racing instead of just drinking beer all weekend and watching. So it was fun. I enjoyed it, and we were what? I was looking at the lap times at the end of the race, and we were the eighth fastest car on the track in that main event. So there's positives to take out of it. I mean, with how
Yeah.
how much struggles and uphill battle we faced, we still came out with some pretty good positives. So it was a learning experience. We'll move on from there. And if you guys watched it or checked out anything with the 208 this weekend, thanks for the support. We had a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun.
Alrighty. Um, let's see. Let's go over the news first. Caden Honeycutt out at Nice, being replaced by Bailey Curry for the remainder of the season, starting next week at Richmond. Uh, this came out of left field, Tom. I didn't expect this.
Yeah, I didn't either. I really didn't. It's kind of weird too because typically, how I kind of feel like it goes is, you know, the team will either come to you and they'll be like, "Hey, we're not going to renew our contract," or the driver will go to the team and say, "Hey, I've got a deal for another team next year." And to me, and how I kind of feel like how it went down was like Caden went to Nice and said, "Hey, you guys aren't cutting it for me. I'm going to a new team next year." And then Nice was like, "Well, if we're just not cutting it for you, why don't you just cut out now?"
Yeah,
And they just made that decision. That's how I kind of feel like it went down. Um, but I mean, that's just speculation. I don't really know how it went down, but um, to me, it's just kind of crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, it was crazy. And then it was today he announced that he was going to replace Stuart Friesen for in the 52 truck for a few races this year. I don't know if that's for the rest of the season until Friesen's back. I don't know if it's a few races that are undisclosed yet. I don't know, but maybe the Toyota pipeline is calling the Caden Honeycutt way. I felt like he was
It
on the
could be.
cusp of winning though with Nice. Like he was right there. I mean, if you look back
Yeah.
at Martinsville, a few things go back his way in his favor. He wins that race. There's a few other races like Charlotte earlier this year where he was a top 3 truck all day long. I mean, there was a lot of bright shining moments. I didn't see this coming. So, um, upside though is we have Connor Zilic gonna be running all 3 national series with the trucks, Xfinity and Cup this weekend because he's gonna be running the 45 this weekend for Nice. So we'll see how that goes. Um, maybe a little precursor to my picks for this weekend as we get into it. All right. I guess maybe we should say this beforehand, but we didn't watch any of the races this weekend live. I
Yeah,
think
right.
that goes without saying. With how busy we were this weekend with practicing on Friday, the race on Saturday, and then Sunday working on the car in the garage. But me and Tom sat down for about, I don't know, maybe an hour and watched all of the highlights of all the races. So we're basing all of our content today off of the highlights. So if we miss something, let us know in the comments below. Share your thoughts on any of our takes that we go over here in a minute. ARCA series, Chris Wrong ends up doing the wrong thing again and clears himself in front of a lap car and puts himself in the outside wall. That was one of the most comical things ever, especially when Phil Parsons is like, I don't know what he was doing right there, Mister Dementia over there, Parsons. I mean, that was pretty fun. I mean, he gets outed at the Xfinity Series level, goes back to ARCA, and then proves exactly why he's probably not even an ARCA driver at this point. It's crazy. That'll nominate him as a bonehead of the week. We did have a good battle there between Brett Cruz and Brendan Queen. Both of them led probably pretty even amount of laps. Queen would have the lead. He'd be leading for a while. Then Brett Cruz would have the lead. He'd be leading for a while. But it really looked like the ultimate win here for Brendan Queen or Brendan Queen over Brett Cruz was the restart ability of Brendan Queen in this race. He just was way better on the restarts. Was able to outduel Brett Cruz, which again, whenever we get these matches, we've been saying it for the last few weeks. So we get a Brett Cruz versus Brendan Queen matchup or duel at the ARCA series. It's good for ARCA. Seems like every year it's the 28 and the 18 in ARCA battling for wins. It's crazy. All right, and then for the Xfinity series, the Hy-Vee Parks 250, Ryan Sieg ends up getting a little loose, corrects up the track, ends up tagging Austin Dillon, sends him around as Austin Dillon was filling in for Austin Hill this weekend. Zilic and Chastain both had fast cars, both swept the stages early in the race. I do want to talk about that save by Dean Thompson when Corey Day got underneath him and kind of tagged him in the left rear and went dead sideways, probably 45-degree angle sideways, and absolutely saved it. That was probably the best save of the weekend, to be honest. That was pretty damn incredible. Was able to continue on. I mean, NASCAR threw the caution right away instantly, which rarely do we see that in NASCAR. So props to NASCAR for throwing the caution right away. But honestly, I don't think it was needed. I mean, he saved that thing and kept going. But I'm not going to complain with an early thrown yellow there because we've seen really late yellows that have affected people's days and potential injuries and just shenanigans. Let's see. Oh, late in the race, Connor Zilic, maybe a little zealous to the inside there, ends up making it 3 wide on his teammates and tags Allgaier, sends him around, and then basically hits Chastain in the process. Basically took the win away from Junior Motorsports there, and Sam Mayer at the end. Better restarts, ends up taking the win. Is Sam Mayer a legitimate championship contender, or is this just a product of what, like we said last week on the podcast, that Ford in any series on short tracks or these flat short ovals are just dominant right
Yes.
now? I agree. I don't see Sam Mayer being a championship contender. I mean, we really haven't
No.
seen that out of him all year long. I mean, he's been like a 5th to 10th place guy all year. I mean, right now it seems like Zilic, Allgaier. I mean, what other names would you throw in there? Taylor Gray hasn't won yet, but he's been really consistent up at the front this year. Austin Hill, he's basically lost all of his points, so I don't know if we could consider him a championship contender. I mean, the list of Xfinity this year seems a lot narrower than it's been the last few years for championship contenders.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And we all know that Sheldon Creed isn't going to be a championship contender. All right. With the Michelin Pilot Challenge Series, missed this race as well. Just shout out to the number 13 Ford winning Grand Sport. I think this is the first race of the year in the Michelin Pilot Challenge where the Ford didn't get absolutely TKO'd by somebody else, and they were able to finish the race. And look at, they put it in the front of the field to win the race. And then the number 33 Hyundai ends up winning a TCR, which I called that last week on the podcast. So let's go. They end up dominating Hyundai in the Michelin Pilot Challenge. The TCR is just dominant, and so that was an easy pick. That was kind of a low-hanging fruit there. All right, this is where the drama starts for the weekend. We got to talk about the F1 Hungarian Grand Prix and the McLaren shenanigans and what is happening here, Tom. We have Piastri's dominating the race. He is ahead of Norris for the majority of the race, and then they absolutely botch his pit strategy, make him pit. What, they put Norris on hard tires 40 laps to go in the race, and then they bring Piastri in and put him on hard tires like 20 laps later and gave him no opportunity to catch Norris.
I lost my mind over that. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. What kind of strategy is it to go hard towards the end of the race? It makes no sense at all. They knew what they were doing, you know? Like, why would you put Norris when you knew you could make it, excuse me, that many laps on hard tires, but then put Norris on a 25 lap strategy with hards or whatever, how many laps it was? It doesn't matter because it was so out there in terms of strategy. You could have put mediums on Piastri and still finish the race in decent condition, very good condition. And realistically, he would have passed Norris as well. It's just one of those times again where McLaren chose their obvious favorite driver to win the race. It wasn't done based on merit at all.
No, and I don't want to hear Zach Brown one more time say, we're just going to let these boys race. Well, if you're going to let the boys race, put them on even tires and let them race on the same strategy. I mean, you're way faster than every other car on the grid. They were 21 seconds over Russell, who finished P3. Like, why do we got to do some alternate strategy on Piastri? I said this like weeks ago on the podcast. I said, it's going to be really hard for Piastri to win this world championship race for McLaren alongside Lando Norris. It's stuff like this that's going to keep happening. That's going to completely put him out of position, out of contention to win the championship. Piastri's been the better driver this year for McLaren. It's not even a question. He's out qualifying Norris on most weekends, outpacing him in the races. And the only way he doesn't win races is if McLaren does these strategy calls to absolutely put him behind the 8 ball compared to Lando. And we saw it this weekend. I can't believe they did that. I mean, I can believe it, but it's ludicrous. Why are we doing this? Piastri was the better driver in this race. He had the advantage, and they completely gave him the wrong strategy. And maybe call us conspiracy theorists, but it completely looked intentional to give the win to Norris. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's not really conspiracy because this isn't the first time it's happened.
No.
So, it's quite obvious now, in my opinion, what they're trying to do. They're trying to do it in IndyCar too with Pato.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, it's whatever. They can do what they want as a team, but I'm quite I can see through the bullshit, really.
Yeah.
I really can, and this is actually just ridiculous. I don't know why they would do that to Piastri, other than Lando Norris has been somewhat loyal to the team. I mean, there's literally no other team out there that has publicly spoken that they wanted Lando Norris. But there are plenty of other teams that have spoken out and said that they want Oscar Piastri. So maybe it's a little bit of a, loyalty thing for them. I don't know. But really all I can say about that race is just wow.
Yeah. Yup.
And
Absolutely
that's about
ridiculous.
it, honestly.
And then Verstappen driving a dump truck again, man. Like, what was he, P9 at the end of the race? I mean, he's behind a Aston Martin, a Sauber. I mean, a buy one RB, get one free car. I
He
mean, it's
was,
insane.
yeah, he was battling the freaking sister car like he couldn't pass him. You know, that's insane to me. How does a team with less funding like that? Well, you could take Sauber as well, but how? In what freaking state is Red Bull racing in right now? Because
It's
it's
crazy.
just got to be depressing for the people that work there.
I can't remember a time in motorsports where a team went from literally winning every race in a season, besides, well, I guess minus one, to 2 years removed from that, not being able to even barely score points now. I mean, Verstappen is literally giving everything he can just to score points. I mean, it's insane. I mean, the whole Christian Horner thing, it's just like everything is just unraveling from there. Like, it's crazy. It's
Well,
crazy to me.
it started with Adrian Newey,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then that whole situation blew up because of Christian Horner, and now Christian Horner.
It's crazy. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
they're cooked. They're gonna finish fourth in the constructor standings. It appears at this point. I don't see them catching Mercedes or Ferrari.
No.
Verstappen is damn near 100 points behind Piastri in the World Championship. I mean, it's been over for what, 3-4 weeks now.
Yeah, it's
It was
over.
over before the summer break. It's tough. It's tough out here in the world, and especially a driver of Max Verstappen's caliber not even having a chance to even compete for a World Championship again this year is crazy. It's crazy. Big time runs this weekend by Bortoleto, like I mentioned, P6 with Sauber. Um, I'm a believer. I think I said this the other day. I said Bortoleto I think he's a quality, talented driver. But I wouldn't put him at like a world championship caliber driver or an A driver. I'd put him like on the level with George Russell. I think he's a George Russell-esque driver. He will always be a B driver. Um, Once he gets it figured out in Sauber, which looks like they're trending in the right direction. I don't know if it's that Audi influence that's already coming into play here, but I think he's going to be a valuable asset to be a B driver there at Sauber for years to come. Proves that this weekend has a really good performance at P6. And then Fernando Alonso putting that Aston Martin up at P5 this weekend, probably one of the best performances we've seen out of Fernando since 2023 at the beginning of that season, where he was keeping up with the Red Bulls. And then Leclerc struggling at the end of that race, going over the radio. He's saying that it'll be a miracle if we can finish on the podium, and just bitching and moaning on the radio. And George Russell did eventually get by him there with 8, 9, 10 laps to go, something like that, for the final podium spot. But Ferrari, typical Ferrari esque stuff, qualifying pole, and kind of just unravels from there for Leclerc. Um, I think that's it. I mean, I think that's all we really had there for the F1 race. I really don't think there was any other storylines. Did we miss anything? I'm trying to think back at the highlight video.
Not really. I mean, um, we saw Alonso going on some freaking crazy passing and looking like Alonso from 10, 15 years ago. So that was kind of cool to see. But other than that, I nothing really stands out to me. Other than that,
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next Grand Prix, which is not this weekend, next weekend. We'll have another Grand Prix there in Formula One. All right, the IMSA race on Sunday, the Motul Sports Car Grand Prix. Um, the inception was extremely fast in the GTD class. End up putting in the wall with Brennan Uribe, which was surprising because I've never seen him drive an inception before. Maybe I missed a race that he was driving for him, but if this was his debut, what a terrible debut. Turn 7, just absolutely tagging the wall through the grass there, ruined their fast day. Also, number 52, LMP2, ends up going through the carousel and just
oh yeah.
absolutely bombed it. That was violent. Holy cow.
That was actually watching the highlight reel back, when it first happened, I was like, holy cow, is that guy okay? Like, because the carousel, you're hauling the mail through and you're hoping it sticks, and he got a little loose, tried saving it, and then hit the grass, and once you hit the grass, I mean, you're going straight. and he
Yeah.
just absolutely nailed the wall. Was he the one that hit the concrete section and not the tire barrier
Yeah.
section? Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that's an insane hit right there. They're probably what, going 130, 140 around that corner? Like that's insane.
That was wild. I mean, I'm sure he's okay, but damn, dude. That car
Yeah.
was that car looked violent, dude. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Um Also, we got to mention it because it seems to be a big thing this year. Wow. How criminal are these BMWs, man? Just absolutely. For the lead on a restart late in this race, about 50 something minutes to go, the BMW ends up absolutely TKO in the number 3 Corvette, sends him around in turn 1, backs him into the wall. And not even that, but 2 corners later, coming down the hill off of turn 3, the Rexy machine, the Porsche ends up dumping the sister car Corvette.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then the Aston Martin hits something. I wish we would have got an onboard on the highlight video, because that ride must have been insane for that Aston Martin. You see on the highlight, he's going through the grass and you see him hit his left front tire, and you just see like the front of the car just aimed at the sky. He's like pointing towards Jesus and like lands it, and the whole thing's torn to pieces. I mean, damn, we missed out on an onboard there. I don't know if somebody's got the onboard for that, but holy cow, that was insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. And I think we should just like rename BMW Racing to like Jack the Ripper Racing or something. Cuz like all they do is cause chaos.
I mean, it's insane. Like BMW this year has just been tearing up everything. I mean, it's not even just in like the IMSA series, it's in World Endurance Championship. It's in the Asian Le Mans. It's everywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, it's everywhere around the world. This year, BMW is public enemy number 1. Jack the Ripper Racing, as Tom says.
Yeah.
I mean, and poor Corvette has got the worst end of this stick several times now. It's like yeah, it's like the great BMW Corvette war, but Corvette is just getting absolutely used and abused. If it was a
Yeah.
12-round fight, man, like they've lost the first 10 rounds. They better recover here for the last 2 and see if they can get that knockout before the end of the year, because it's rough out here in the streets for Corvette. Oh man. And then the battle for the lead late in GTP. I mean, it appears to me they were on an alternate strategy compared to the BMWs, because we saw the BMWs pit from the lead, go to the back, and it looked like they were good on fuel, and that's kind of how they won the race. But Porsche was out in the front, and then Ricky Taylor trying to compete with the Porsches, and then in between, what was it, 6 and 7 of the uphill section, not a passing zone, never been a passing zone ever in the history of Road America, ends up trying to make a pass on that short, narrow straightaway up the hill before he has the unpreferred line going into 7, which made no sense to me. Ends up dropping a wheel off into the grass and ends up spinning around, stalls the race car, and ends the race for Corvette. No chance to win at that point. And that's what changed the race for BMW, gave them the win, the 1-2. But come on, man. What the hell was Ricky Taylor doing right there, dude? That was extreme impatience.
Yeah, like even when you and I were watching it, we looked back and who was the lead car again? Was it
It was the number 7
Porsche?
Porsche, yeah.
Yeah. The Porsche only made one move to block.
Yes.
The Porsche didn't do anything wrong.
No.
Even though you want to say, oh, what the hell, Porsche? What are you thinking? You want to say that, right? But like the Porsche didn't do anything wrong, man. That was just bonehead Ricky Taylor right there, man. There's nothing really else to say about it. I mean, that was just dumb.
It was absolutely dumb. And like you said, the Porsche only made one move, and it wasn't even really on the replay. It doesn't even look like he was trying to throw a block. It looked like he was just trying to move shade left to be like, hey, bud, this ain't a passing zone. I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah,
like, just
right.
kind of like one of those like unspoken racing like rules that drivers do, where it's just like, I'm just going to shade left here and like just show you like, hey, bud, there's not enough room to go side by side up this hill up into 7. Like,
Yeah.
and he just continued to commit to that move, and I mean, he was faster. If he would have just waited past 7, he would have got him. He would have got him.
Yep.
It was just dumb. I mean, how many times have we seen this out of Ricky Taylor though? I mean, if it's not at Long Beach a couple years ago, stuffing it in the wall, last year leading late at Petit and ends up over driving and not committing in a crash zone and wiping himself out. I mean, just this is a typical Ricky Taylor move. Impatience leads to imperfection, and that's what we saw this weekend out of Ricky Taylor. That'll nominate him for Bonehead of the Week, because that was just that was just dumb. I mean, it changed the whole race complexion because I think what the strategy was there, Tom, is the Porsches and the Cadillacs were going to try and stretch it on fuel and energy towards the end because this was late in the race. And when that caution came out, it kind of put them in a situation where now the BMW cycle to lead. BMWs end up winning. The number one BMW somehow didn't get a penalty with the collision with the Corvette, ends up winning in GTD Pro, which still I'm trying to rack my brain around how that wasn't a penalty. But the number one BMW gets that job done in Pro. And then I called it. The number 99 Puff the Mad Dragon ends up winning LMP2 this weekend. And then the 021 Ferrari ends up winning GTD. And like we mentioned, we thought this was over. What was it, 2 months ago, 3 months ago? We were saying the IMSA championship is over. It's between the two Porsches. It's done. Well, as we sit now, BMW with 2 rounds to go is only 181 points behind the lead Porsche, which is the number 6 right now, with Jomine and Campbell. 75 back is the team Porsche, the number 7 with Nasser and Tandy. This could be an interesting championship all the way down to Petit Le Mans, dude. I think it's going to be decided at Petit Le Mans. We got the 6 hours of the Battle of the Bricks. And if we know by experience, BMWs have been really good there in the last 2 years they've ran there. I think they've won both races there. So we're going to a track that BMW is good at, has proven track record of winning at, closing this championship gap down. And then we go to Petit, where Petit is the biggest wild card on the schedule. Anything can happen there. We've seen it every year now, the championship battle being decided there in the closing laps with a bunch of shenanigans. We saw it with Acura and the battle with Action Express a few years ago. And then last year we saw it with Porsche and with the Cadillacs in the end of that race. I mean, this could be interesting to see how this plays out, Tom, as we get down to the stretch. You think BMW can do it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Part of me is rooting against it because of the shenanigans they've caused all year, but then the other part of me is like, man, I want to see more drama at Petit this year. I want to see it come down to some craziness and wild dramatics, you know?
Yeah, actually either situation would be pretty dope. Actually, I think.
Yeah,
I'll root for both. How about that?
yeah, there we go. I just want to see some great racing at Petit this year for sure, which we always do. It's one of the best races of the season. So we'll keep you guys updated. The next round is VIR for the GTD cars, the Pro and the GTD classes. So we'll do that round and then battle the brakes, obviously, in the Petit, and then the IMSA season will come to a wrap. So it's getting interesting. All right, let's move on to the NASCAR Cup Series race at Iowa. This is my biggest complaint, Tom, and we talked about it when we watched the highlight video. Brad Keselowski had a dominant car. And then for some reason, somehow at the end of the first caution in stage 3, he pits, loses all of his track position, but the highlight video never explained how that happened. How am I supposed to know how Brad Keselowski had the most dominant car and ends up back in the 20s, and they don't even talk about it? Like,
now, the point of this conversation, just to set the mood here, is that if there were people this weekend like Jay and I who didn't have the opportunity to watch the race and only the highlights, how are we supposed to know with such a poorly made highlight video what the actual race was setting out to be? How are we supposed to know what was going on? Because the highlight video was so bad and literally gave no context throughout the entire race except for side-by-side racing moments and the wrecks. You know what I mean? Like that's where I feel like we're getting to here. It's not that, maybe the race broadcast did talk about it, but the highlight video had no mention of it. We saw Brad Keselowski, kicking tail this weekend at Iowa, and then all of a sudden, he's in 28th. Yeah. Like, the next reel in the highlight video is he's 28th, and there's no mention of it. And it would be different if we were the 5th race in to the season, right? But we're 5 races away from the playoffs right now, and Brad Keselowski needs a win. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a big deal, So I just, set the basis there for why this is such a big deal, because not everybody gets to watch the race every weekend. Maybe you got, a family reunion, or you're out racing at your local racetrack, or, you had something terrible happen in your family or whatever. Like, your one outlet for entertainment to help you forget the rest of the last part of the week, and you get a highlight reel like this. Like, it was honestly awful. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. And Newberg got a good point. I mean, we got to find out exactly what happened to Brad, but there was points in that highlight reel as well, Tom, where they ran the same clip multiple times. Like
Yeah.
they would run, they would show the clip, like the 10-15 second clip, and then it would end, and then it would go right back to playing that same 10 to 15 second clip again. And then no replays on certain crashes. Like, we'd see a wreck or a caution come out, and then they would show no replay on how it happened or what happened. And it's like, I don't care if the highlight video is 25 minutes long. Like, just give us all the context of everything that happened, because if I go back 10 years from now and I want to see the highlights of this race to refresh my memory, I don't know what the hell's happening. And I don't know if it has something to do with stages. If that's the cause of it, because you see stages, especially when like try to watch a truck highlight, which I'll do every once in a while as well, because I'll watch a truck race and I'll go back and watch the highlights. That's just kind of what I do. But you'll see the truck highlight, and if I didn't watch the race and I'm just watching the highlight, I would not know what's happening, because at the end of a stage in a truck race, the whole running order is all completely scrambled again. And it's like, if you're not watching the race and staying tuned to what happened and who pitted and who didn't pit, you don't know what's going on. And that's something that NASCAR needs to address. I like to say that the highlight videos we did when we were doing the iRacing broadcasting, I felt like I tried to put as much context into those as I could to try and, so if you were to miss the race and watch just the highlight video, you'd be able to understand all the aspects of what happened in that race and why everybody's running where they're running, and highlights and replays of all the wrecks. And I feel like I got it pretty tuned in, and I feel like NASCAR, I don't know if they're using AI to make these videos, which I
wouldn't
feel is
surprise me.
very likely, but something's got to change, guys. Like, NASCAR, listen up, man. You got to make some better highlight videos. Hire me. I'll make your highlight videos for you.
Yeah, hire Jay. That needs to happen.
We'll make some really good ones. All right. Denny Hamlin. I didn't get to catch this podcast. I wanted to catch like a clip of him saying whose fault it was for him absolutely running out of talent there and spinning at one point. Well, I didn't even know what sponsor he had on his race car, dude. To be honest with you, I mean, this guy's got more sponsors than.
Oh, it's the discount furniture one.
Oh yeah, discount furniture. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, what the hell, man?
Well, like what I was telling you while we were watching the highlight reels, we're talking about a guy who's been in the Cup Series for almost 20 years. Is that right? Almost 20 years. And this guy can't pick up like a solid sponsor. He had FedEx for all those years, right? I mean, we're talking about a championship contending driver that can't pick up a steady sponsor, and to me, it just speaks volumes of the sport now. You got Rick Hendrick sponsoring one of his own cars. Yeah. And not just in the Cup Series. Not just in the Cup Series. It's in the lower series too. Like, to me, it's little side note there, but I just to add on to the conversation of what the hell is NASCAR doing lately? Add this to it, to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. We got to talk about Chase Briscoe. I mean,
yeah, we do.
This is crazy. He took out basically every Toyota team in the race this weekend. He took out Eric Jones on a straightaway, boys. On a straightaway. Wipes out Eric Jones, and then proceeds to wipe out Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell at the same time as well, later on in the race. I mean, I don't see what everybody else sees in this Chase Briscoe cat. I mean, he is an absolute loose cannon. He's not even that cool of a dude. I mean, I watched that NASCAR Speed documentary or whatever they had on Netflix like a month ago, and they had a whole episode featuring Briscoe, and he is less valuable than a can of primer spray paint, man. Like, he's just there, dude. He's just a dude, and like, he's so bland and boring. And then he does stuff like this on the track, and you lose and or stuffing himself in fences at certain. I mean, what is? I don't know, man. I can't stand this Chase Briscoe guy. I don't like him.
I don't know who can, honestly. How did he land that ride?
I've Dollar General knee pads, man. He's got that Cooter Daily special going on. Oh man! Out of all the drivers that have SHR that they could have picked up, they picked up this guy, man. Like that's crazy to me. Like I mean, who like KFB could have been a great addition back to the JGR stable there. They could have put it back in the 18 car with Bass Pro Shop sponsorship, and then
Yeah.
yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on, man. But yeah, he's gonna nominate himself there for a bonehead of the week. I don't know how the end of this race played out because the highlight video, like we mentioned, sucked. But William Byron wins. But there's been a lot of people hinting at fuel mileage racing being an issue in NASCAR. Are we catching all this breeze that we're catching on the interwebs here with this fuel mileage strategy?
Oh my god. Yeah, you know what? You know what? I'm so tired of the NASCAR shills, man. I'm so tired of them. Like, we all know who you're talking about, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
like we all know.
Yeah, we
I
all
mean,
know.
I can't stand it. You know, Sunday morning before we started working on the car, I woke up at like what 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever, and turn on YouTube, and the first thing that pops up is a video of just this guy complaining about the the racing at Iowa, and his whole basis was fuel mileage races. Like, the one freaking thing we have left in this series, you're complaining about it.
Of all the complaints, it's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
first off, of all the complaints that you can have, you have this one, and second off, it's the last thing that is actually, you know, it got neutered a lot of bit with the stage racing, but it's the last thing that we can look forward to on a race weekend. You know, like, oh my god, I just can't.
That's the last thing we have. That's the last holdout of traditional racing, motorsports is fuel mileage. We don't. How many fuel mileage races do we get a year, Tom? Like, let's take out the fuel saving at like the super speedways because that doesn't really count. We get maybe one a year,
Michigan?
a year, maybe. Yeah, Michigan, maybe a Pocono every other year, and
yeah, Pocono, yeah,
and then every once in a while we'll get a random race with a fuel mileage for some random reason because we have a long green flag
Indy?
run in the last race at Indy is a track. Yeah, we get maybe one true fuel mileage race a year. Maybe we'll get a second one. Maybe we'll get one every 2 years. But to complain about that when it doesn't happen that often, come on, miss me with that, man. Miss me with that.
Yeah, for real. I mean, go. I don't even know what to say. It's just.
And then turn around and then next sentence and say Atlanta's a great race, like.
Oh, man.
And then Bristol 2024 is a terrible race because the tires are blowing up. You know, it's just like, come on, man. Like, these shills for NASCAR are just something else, man.
Yeah. You know, just
a disease.
Keep making videos with AI, brother. You know.
Facts.
Whatever.
Alrighty. Standings as we sit, we got 3 races left. We got Watkins Glen, Richmond, and Daytona, and we are at the playoffs. We have currently 12 different winners. No, 13 different winners. So there's a potential we can get up to 16 winners for the playoffs. And right now we got Reddick. Obviously, looks like he's going to be the one guy that should make it in on points if we don't get to that 16 win mark. But Bowman currently 15th in points, 40 points above the cut line to Busher, who is the cut driver. And then Prix closed the gap to his teammate Busher this weekend, only down 23 points going into this weekend's race at Watkins Glen. Excuse me. And Busher would be a pretty prime candidate there to be able to extend that lead over Prix based upon his success at Watkins Glen in the past. I don't know. This could be interesting, Tom. I could see a new winner at Daytona. I could see a potential new winner this weekend at Watkins Glen. We got basically 2 wild cards in this final 3 race stretch before the playoffs. And then we have Richmond, which we already know a Toyota or a Ford's going to win that race, depending on how good Toyota's going to run there or how good Penske's going to bring the car.
I'm just gonna call it right now. Richmond is gonna be a terrible race.
Oh, awful, god awful.
Yeah.
And all those people on the internet that have been saying we need this road course, we need to go back to Richmond twice a year are going to be the same people that complain that Richmond's a terrible race here in 2 weeks. Just watch, just watch.
Or
It's gonna happen.
complained about Austin Dillon last year.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Alrighty. Drivers of the week this week nominated. Shout out to Harrison Burton. P5 in the Xfinity Series race. I think that was the best result he's had all season, to be honest. Gabriel Bortoleto putting that Sauber up in the points again with the P6 performance. And then Ryan Preece, P5 in the Cup race, ran there pretty much all day in the top 5 to 10, doing what he needs to do to try and get himself in the playoffs, close that gap to Buescher. I think he basically cut it in half this weekend to Buescher. So great run by Preece. Let's see if he can pull it together and maybe find himself in the playoffs here. It'd be cool to see Ryan Preece have a chance at a championship. All right, Boneheads of the week. Chris Wright clearing himself in the ARCA race, doing some Chris wrong things. Ricky Taylor running out of talent in the IMSA race and absolutely being over aggressive and wiping himself out. And then Chase Briscoe, bulldozer mode engaged this weekend in the Cup Series race, wiping out every Toyota teammate, Kwanzai teammate, whatever you want to call him this weekend at Iowa. Alrighty, it's time. Let's preview the races this weekend. We got ARCA Trucks Xfinity Cup at Watkins Glen and Indy NXT at Portland. Truck Series notable entries. We got a lot of great names on this entry list for Watkins Glen this weekend. We got Tricon with William Swallow in the 1. We got KFB with Spire in the 07. We got Sammy Smith with Spire in the 7. We got Ross Chastain in the number 44 for Nice. We got Connor Zilich in the 45. We got Christopher Bell in the 52 for Halmar. Chris Buescher in the number 66 for Thorsport, making his Truck Series debut, by the way, which I did not know that. That's a fun fact when I saw that post. Interesting. Who would have thought that Buescher would have at least ran one?
Wait, are you sure that Bell's in for Hallmark?
Yeah.
Isn't it Caden Honeycutt?
Caden Honeycutt is going to be at Richmond.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bell will be this weekend for Halmar in the 52 at Watkins Glen. And then Brett Cruz will be running in the number 70 for his own team, which has got to be a Tricon related entry, just branded with a different team name. And then Parker Kligerman racing for Henderson, which he's an excellent road racer. We'll see what he can do this weekend. Alrighty.
Hell yeah.
Xfinity SVG gonna try and go for a double sweep again this weekend in the Xfinity and the number 9 for Junior Motorsports. Michael McDowell with colleague in the 11 this weekend. I'm excited to see how that goes. Riley Herbst with JGR in the 19. Kaz Gralla in the number 24 for Sam Hunt, and then Austin Green, which I'm a big fan of. He'll be in the number 32 for Jordan Anderson Racing. Cup Series JJ Yaley in the number 44 for NY Racing in their backyard at Watkins Glen. Josh Bilicki with the number 66 for MBM. Catherine Legg, another start with Live Fast in 78. And then Connor Zilich making another Cup Series start this weekend at Watkins Glen. We're going to get the Zilich versus SVG show this weekend, and I can't wait to see it, man. Alrighty. Friday, the ARCA Series, the General Tire 100. I wish Connor Zilich was in this race because I think he could go for all 4 this weekend. But since he's not in the ARCA race, I'm going to go Brent Cruz, exceptional road racer. I think he's going to take the win this weekend. It'll be interesting to see what Butterbean can do on a road course, see if he's competitive towards the front of the field. And then, obviously, my dark horse this weekend, I'm going to go with Dale Quarterly, man. Every time they go to a road course, this dude just seems to perform. That old man can wheel it around a road course. Let's see what he can do this weekend. I mean, he'll either be a competitor or he'll be a meme. We'll see how it plays out. I still remember a couple years ago Watkins Glen in the ARCA race when he was running top 5 all day. So I think that's a good dark horse.
All right. So for my lineup, for my favorite, I'm gonna go with Alan Day, just because road course ringer. I think he could probably do something at Watkins Glen. And I'm not really sure how Butterbean's gonna do. That's why I didn't, obviously kind of low hanging fruit there. But do we really know what he does on a road course? I don't think so. But we'll find out. So that's why I'm taking my favorite. My dark horse, I'm gonna go a little bit different here. I'm gonna go with Tristan McKee. And Tristan McKee, Jay, we watched that throwback race at Hickory. That guy put on a freaking show. Yeah, and not only did he put on a freaking show, he was showing up all of the old people in the field. This guy's 15 years old. 15. And he led over 3/4 or almost the entire race. at Hickory to try and win 50 grand until some shenanigans happen at the end of the race. Regardless, though, that kind of shows me that, if a guy like him, or if he gets to the lead, he's going to be able to handle it and continue to hit his marks. I know it was Hickory. I know it's an oval, but he's not going to go to Watkins Glen in some crap equipment. He's going with Spire. So, he's going to have lots of support all around him, from the Truck Series to the Xfinity Series to the Cup Series. I think that this is a huge opportunity for McKee to maybe get his foot in the door for a full ride next year.
That's a great pick. I like that. Should be an interesting ARCA series at Watkins Glen. Last few years have been good races, so we'll see how it plays out this year. The truck series on Friday, the Mission 176, maybe a precursor to what my theme of this entire weekend is. But I am going with Connor Zilic to win this race. I don't think it's gonna even. I mean, look at the heavy hitters on the entry list that we just pointed out. I think Zilic is just him. Like we say it all the time. My comparison was Jeff Gordon. Tom's was Jimmy Johnson. I think he's gonna be a mix of both of those drivers. I think he's gonna be a legend in NASCAR by the time he retires. I think he's gonna be a winner as a rookie in the Cup Series next year. I'm taking Zilic to win this race. I think he puts it to them boys this weekend, and he dominates that Truck Series race in that nice equipment. And then my dark horse, I'm going to go with Brent Cruz. Again, I think that team is kind of a quasi-track or Tricon team. He's in the Toyota pipeline. They're going to give him good equipment. He's a great road racer. Every time him and Zilic are racing against each other at any level, they are always basically neck and neck. Brent Cruz has got a lot of talent. I think he's a great dark horse pick this weekend.
Yeah, so for my favorite, look, it's just low-hanging fruit, but you can't deny it. It's Zilic. I mean, come on. Are you really going to make an argument for anybody else? Let's be honest here. All right, for my dark horse, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to say it. It is what a shame. What a shame that this man's name is on the dark horse list. What a shame. It's Kyle Busch. I'm putting him on the dark horse for the Truck Series race. I don't think he won a race last year in trucks. I don't think he did.
No. Yeah.
I don't think so. Regardless, I'm just gonna take his Cup Series standings anyways and make him a dark horse. So, yeah, I'm going to KFB.
He needs to get his mojo back. He has lost it, and we need to see KFB win
He needs
something.
he needs to get away from RCR is what he needs to do.
I agree.
He needs to take Herb's seat, and Herbst needs to go to RCR.
Yeah, I agree. Or we're back to Xfinity. I mean, it's just, yeah. Alrighty. Xfinity Series on Saturday, the Mission 200. Easy pick for me. I think it's Zilic again. He's gonna win the trucks. He's gonna win Xfinity, and he's gonna outduel SVG. It's gonna be the SVG Zilic show at the front of the field. It's gonna be an exceptional battle. But I think that if there's anybody that can beat SVG on a road course right now, it is Zilic. Zilic is the only one that can do it, and he did it at Sonoma. I think he one-ups SVG once again and gets his second career win at Watkins Glen, the Xfinity Series. It's gonna be a great race. It's gonna be a great race. Like I said, it's gonna be the SVG Zilic battle. I'm a Zilic homer. Huge fan. I think he's gonna get it done this weekend. And then my dark horse, I'm going to Austin Green. I mean, he is an exceptional road racer. What he's done in the TA2 series with Trans Am, he's exceptional there. In the few starts he's made in the Xfinity series for Jordan Anderson racing on a road course, I think he's finished top 10 every single road course. He won an ARCA race at Charlotte earlier this year. I mean, the momentum's there. He's got a lot of talent. I think Austin Green's a top 10 threat this weekend.
Okay, so for my favorite, I'm going to spread the love here a little bit. I am going to choose SVG, but if we see a situation with SVG out front with 3 to 5 laps to go, and Zilic is behind him, and catching or sticking with him, we see SVG make a mistake to give Zilic some much needed playoff points. Yeah, I think that's a possibility of it happening, but we'll see. My dark horse, I'm gonna go with just my normal pick. I'm going with Ryan Sieg. I just feel like, wouldn't it be crazy if his first win comes on a road course?
That'd be
Wouldn't
nuts.
that be crazy?
That would be
That would
absolutely
be.
nuts. I
Yeah.
mean, it's his win's coming eventually. I mean, it's a
It's
matter
coming.
of time. I mean, you can't run as good as he runs and not have a win yet. It's coming, and I
Yeah.
like the pick. Maybe with this weekend, that would be Ryan Sieg esque to win a race at
Yeah.
Buc this weekend. All right,
Yeah.
on Sunday morning we have the Indy NXT at Portland. I'm gonna go Dennis Hauger this weekend. I mean, the points gap with from Kyle Collette has kind of collapsed the last few weeks. It's down to like I think 40 points or 39 points, something like that. Um, I think Dennis Howard gets back on his winning ways. Had a little bit of a slump here in the summer. I think he's going to round out the season in winning fashion. He's definitely deserving of an IndyCar ride next year. Let's see if he can cap off this championship here in the Indy NXT with this race at Portland. And then my dark horse, I'm going to go with Salvador Del Alba. Uh, he's the only Andretti driver that hasn't won this year. He's got really good pace and speed, and one of these days he's got to break through, man. Eventually, he's got to break through. I mean, watching his teammates win all the time, it's got to be eating him alive.
All right. Yeah. So for my favorite, I'm taking the low hanging fruit too. It's Hauger. I think this dude's got it wrapped up. I mean, honestly, GG's to everybody else, but I don't think you guys got what it takes to take Hauger down, man. I just don't think so. I don't think so. And then for my dark horse, I'm gonna stick with my typical dark horse, my new dark horse guy. That's Jameson.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I think there's only 2 rounds left in the NXT season, so
Yeah.
it's a big race this weekend. See if Hauger can control this championship and outlast Kyle Collette's late season charge. All right, and then Sunday, the IndyCar race, the BitNile.com Grand Prix at Portland. I went to this race last year. It was a banger. Somehow Will Power just absolutely uh, did the best defense job of all time, defending Alex Palou for the entire duration of that race. But this year, Penske sucks. Everything we've talked about it week after week after week. This year, Penske is just a wash. We see it now kind of translating to the only program that's had success this year, their sports car program. They're bleeding the points and losing ground in this championship. And it's all aspects of Penske is just on a downhill slide right now, and I don't think we're going to see it turn around. And when in that case, I'm going with Alex Palou this weekend. Maybe that's the low hanging fruit. Maybe that's the easy pick, but I just don't see who's going to beat him. Maybe Lundgaard will have something this weekend, but we've talked about it with McLaren. They're giving preferential advantages to Pat O'Ward. Scott Dixon last year got taken out on lap 1. We'll see if maybe he can do something this weekend to compete with his teammate. But I just don't see who's going to beat Alex Palou this weekend. He's going to control this race start to finish. I bet he qualifies on pole. Dominant performance by Palou. The championship's wrapped up as it is anyway. Let's go LO Palou this weekend at Portland. And then my dark horse, I'm going to go Felix Rosenquist. Just because he's had great runs this year. I've picked him all year as a dark horse. It'd be crazy to see if he could outbest Alex Palou this weekend at Portland.
All right. For my favorite, I mean, we're going to Palou country, aren't we? I mean, this is Palou's best track. This is his best statistical track. There's honestly, he's just miles ahead of everybody else whenever they unload in Portland. So, I mean, this is pretty easy for me. It's a Palou. I think the championship is a wrap. I don't see it happening. And yeah, may the best driver win, and I think it's Palou. So for my dark horse, I'm going for my normal, and I'm still on that train, man. I'm still on that Malukas comeback tour, and I think it's still in full steam ahead. I think that Malukas is turning heads. At the beginning of this year, we said I really hope that Malukas doesn't change Roger's mind when hopefully looking at a Penske seat. But my God, what Malukas has done this year has just been insane. So, yeah, I really hope McLaren is sitting there saying, "Man, we really screwed up," because did they?
Facts. I like that pick with Malukas as a dark horse because last year Santino Ferrucci put that Hoyt car on the pole. So,
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe they could carry that momentum into this weekend, and maybe Malukas could put that car on the pole this weekend and really show out and prove how good he is and get a podium this weekend. I like that dark horse pick. All right, well, I'm making a last second change to my pick here for the Cup Series, Tom. I just have a good feeling
Yeah.
about it. I do. You know who's winning this race this weekend, Tom, at Watkins Glen? This man's going to get his first career Cup Series win. He's going to beat the best to do it. He's going to win all 3 races this weekend for the National Series, Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. He is probably the next greatest race car driver of all time. It's the man, C. Zilli. He's going to put him to sleep. Connor Zilic is going to win this weekend in that Red Bull machine. He's going to lock in that ride for Trackhouse in 2026. He's going to have an exceptional career, and it all starts this weekend. Where did he get his first career Xfinity Series win? He got it at Watkins Glen. Where did he get his first career ARCA Series win? He got it at Watkins Glen. See Zilli, dog. He's going to win his first Cup Series race this weekend. Him and SVG are going to have a hell of a battle, but Zilic is going to best him in an opportunity like this. I mean, just look back at the Coda race earlier this year. If his damn teammate Daniel Suarez, the man he's going to replace, could have held a brake pedal down, I think Zilic would have had a chance to compete for that win as well. This is the weekend. Z Zilli becomes a household name, puts his name on the map, and people outside of the motorsport sphere will know this name, Connor Zilic. Then my dark horse, well, since my dark horse was Zilic and I'm now picking him to win, my dark horse this weekend, I'm going to go Chris Buescher. He won this race last year. I know it's kind of a weird dark horse pick, but considering he's right there on the cut line for the playoffs, this is a big weekend for him. His stats at Watkins Glen are incredible. I think if anybody has a chance to compete at the front of the field with Zilic or with an SVG, I think it's Chris Buescher this weekend.
All right, my favorite. I'm going with SVG. I mean, that's just yeah, it's low hanging fruit to me. And then you could pair it with the best dark horse in the field as well. It's Connor Zilic. You know, so I don't. I think that the 88 and the 87 are just going to be in a league of their own, and it's going to be really fun to watch. I don't think that there's going to be much competition. SVG lost a heartbreaking one here last year. It's not going to happen again. So that's what I got.
Alrighty. Now, it's time for our NASCAR fantasy lineups. I'm setting it as we speak. I'm going to go SVG, Zilic, Buescher, Allmendinger, McDowell.
Okay. I'm going to go SVG, Buescher, Elliott, Zilic, McDowell.
Okay. I like that. It's a good lineup. All right. And then for matchups, I've got Hosen Carcevar over Zane Smith.
Same.
Okay.
Yep.
Next one is SVG and Hung Money. I'm going to go SVG all day long. Not even a question.
Easy. Easy. It's easy pickings right there. That's an easy 10 points. It's SVG.
All right, the next one. I think this is the best matchup of all. Well, there's 2 good matchups here to round out, but Chastain versus Byron. Man, this is a coin flip. This is going to be a good battle. I think Trackhouse has got something figured out. I think their road course package is just so much better ever since SVG got there. It feels like they're like the best team on road courses. We've seen the wins with Suarez and Chastain and now SVG. I think that the Trackhouse puts a lot of emphasis on their road racing program, and I think this weekend that's going to give the edge for me with Chastain over Byron.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. I'm going to go with Byron. I think actually I don't know why. I'm just going to go ahead and just do the opposite of you there, just try to create some points.
There you go.
That's a good matchup.
It is a good matchup. You could really go either way because Byron, 2 years ago, he led just about the entire race and then lost it at the end.
Yeah.
We'll see how that plays out. The next one is another good matchup, Buescher versus McDowell. I think this is a really good head-to-head matchup. I think both of these guys are contenders to win this race at the end of the day. Um, with the likes of Zilich and SVG. Um, Again, I want to pick McDowell here, but I'm gonna go Buescher just because I picked him as my dark horse, and I feel like if I don't pick him as if I pick him as a dark horse, I gotta pick him in a matchup. So I'm gonna do that.
What was the lineup again, sir?
Buescher versus McDowell.
I'm gonna go Busher.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's a safer pick here because we'll see how that plays out. Good, some decent matchups this weekend. For NASCAR fantasy, we'll see how that plays out this weekend. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm gonna have my Zilich Homer-ism on this weekend, and it's gonna be fun to watch. I can't wait. I love road racing in NASCAR. I think it's the best races
Yes.
of the year, and
Yes.
Zilich being able to run the three top series this weekend and try to go for a triple sweep is just freaking awesome. I wish he had an ARCA ride this weekend as well, just so he could get the quadruple sweep, but you can't have everything. I think
No.
if anybody could do it, it'd be Zilich. I mean, can you imagine if he, even if he just like gets a ride like last minute, like if anybody's listening to this podcast that has an extra car sitting in their garage, just pull it out in the ARCA race, put Zilich in it, let's see what he can do.
Yeah, honestly. That
That'd
do
be
it for
history,
free, Zilich. Do it for free.
no doubt, no doubt. Alrighty, that'll do it for this weekend's podcast. We enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. We didn't get to watch the race this weekend. We're so busy, but we did our best to try to give you our opinions and thoughts on everything that happened this weekend. If you guys want to follow us and stay up to date with everything happening with our YouTube channel, follow us on all of our social medias. All those links are in the description below, as well as on the screen for you guys to go follow. Also, in the description below is a link to our Discord to join the best racing community on the internet. All of the news, drama, rumors, memes, anything related with all motorsports around the world is right here on our Discord. Post your own content as well. We love when you guys do that. We love when you interact with us on our Discord. Also, if you guys want to buy some Dega Boy swag, some merch, you can go check out our merch store now and buy you some awesome Dega Boy swag. We also have some team merch from the Taito 208 as well on our merch store now. So if you guys want to support the boys as we continue in our modified racing adventures in the future, you guys can do that as well. And we'll try to keep you up to date with everything happening in regards to that. We got a year now to prepare for the next Taito 208, and we're excited to give it another try next year. If you guys did, again, catch that this weekend or watch that on the SpeedNet TV, Flow Racing, wherever it was at, and you guys support us, we appreciate you guys so much. It's a long weekend. It's going to take a while to recover. I think I'm on lack of sleep and everything this weekend,
Yeah.
but a lot of excitement and enjoyment, and we had a lot of fun. A lot of fun, so I can't wait to do it again. Um, Make sure you guys comment below if anything we missed, any of your opinions or thoughts on anything that happened this weekend's races. I would really like to hear it. And for some reason, Tom, I keep getting notifications that people are interacting with our NASCAR playoffs explained video recently. So
Oh, nice.
that video will continue to move on for decades, I guess. And it just keeps popping up in people's recommended because even old fans and new fans are still trying to learn this NASCAR playoff system. That's a problem when you have to make a
Yeah,
full
yeah.
4-minute video to explain it. Also, egg roll in the comments on Kick saying Zilich. I agree. Best race car driver of the future. We'll see what he can do this weekend. I'm excited to watch. Anything else you want to add, Tom, before we round out this podcast?
Yeah. Your next race.
September 13th at
Yeah.
the mill. Hopefully. Yeah.
Is it gonna be broadcasted?
I will have to let you know on that one. It should be. I believe it'll probably be on SpeedNet TV. I'm not sure which contract they have at the mill with broadcasting, but if I do get a link for that, I'll try to post that on the Discord as well as on our YouTube page for you guys to check it out and show us some support. So, yeah, well, I'll be posting a lot more stuff in regards to that racing updates and everything. Try to keep you guys up to date. We're trying to make that a whole different segment on the channel as well. We didn't get a lot of filming in during the race because we were on a short-handed thing, and maybe we get somebody to be dedicated on camera or something in the future. But we had all hands on deck to try and get that car ready. Tom was spotting for me, and we only made it 49, 50 laps this weekend with the issues we are having. We unfortunately were not able to finish. so not a lot of content. But bigger and brighter things. You got to have a starting point, and we
Yeah,
got this
gotta
car
have a
pretty
starting point.
much. Base setup was just not right. Wasn't to snub or to par. We made the best out of it. We made it as fast as we could with what we had and what we were given. We didn't even know what spring race we had in the car. I mean, we were just in the blind completely on this setup, and it's a miracle we ran as good as we actually did. And we got some overheating issues, some cooling issues that we got to sort through. We've got some ideas and plans to fix that. So um, there's a lot of things. Our goal is we want to try and get this car worked out so we can hit Vegas at the end of the year and race in the open wheel showdown for the big money down in Las Vegas. So hopefully we can get the car to a point where we can make that happen. And if we don't make it this year, we got lots of goals, and obviously the 208, which sounds like it's going to become an annual thing in Meridian for the Speed Tour Modifieds. So that's going to be like our Daytona 500 for years to come. So we'll eventually get to a point where we can get this car fast enough where we can compete with those big names. The guy that won the race, Kyle Telstrom, is now a 3-time winner of that race, and that's our benchmark. That's our goal, is to beat him one day. So we're gonna do everything we can to make it happen. So we'll keep you guys informed and up to date with everything in regards to our racing and the Digger Boys racing team. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this podcast this week. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy the races this weekend. This has been another awesome episode 134, and we'll catch y'all next week in the next one.
Community is the way we find our strength.